headset on, and then you're completely transformed into another world, which has nothing to do with the real world anymore. It's like usually one person experience, and you can build this kind of imaginary world and be part of it. When it comes to augmented reality, then this is like when two worlds come together. So instead of going to completely off from this physical space, we can actually bring virtual object in that physical space. So later I will also show, I do the demo as well, then what it actually means. So nowadays we are having these kind of devices that are in our pockets and these tablets that are able to see these two worlds come together. But it's not far away than when we are walking around with these kind of cool glasses and then able to not to make a difference what is real and what is not real. So you just walk on the street and you will see this another layer of content that can be doing different job. So, but I also shared the experience that what that actually means. So in Mobi Lab we have been this journey for last 5 years, maybe at least with me, but maybe there has been some activities before me as well. But especially I want to I've seen that very at the time when it was like 5 years ago. Then it was completely different experience than what we had by that time. So it was basically having this kind of heavy headset, and then you had to like work a lot to create this kind of immersive experiences. The HoloLens that you had to put on, the view of it was the screen that you would see this another layer of virtual content. It was quite small, so you actually didn't get this kind of illusion that two worlds are like combined. But augmented reality itself has been for many years. So the most simple thing that you will know about AR is the car's display, that you will see this kind of kilometers speed on your windscreen. So this is like one example that how augmented reality is used. But now this technology has become much more advanced, and the devices that we are having in our pockets are really powerful. So the experience that you can create are really immersive in that sense that later, once I will do the demo, you will also understand that if you place something behind some physical object, then it actually is behind the physical object. So if you stand in front of it, then you will not see the, for example, this 3D object because it's behind some physical, behind this kind of cupboard. But so on this journey, we have actually tried out the different sectors, different business problems, trying to understand that where this kind of augmented reality value proposition does where it does solve the problem the best, where is this kind of match made in heaven between the problem that businesses have and the solution value proposition. So that we have set ourselves this kind of journey that have defined the hypotheses in different sectors, in different business use cases that where we believe that has a good value proposition between those technology and business use cases. But of course, this journey you need to talk with many specialists or experts from the business side of it and try to see that validate together with them that where is this pain big enough for them to consider AR as a good investment to solve it. So this is what we are searching, and maybe this organization can also help a bit on this discovery. So we have done also many different type of projects for different sectors. So we started off with museums. So our very first augmented reality content management system was built for Eesti Loodusmuseum that is in Tallinn. So the goal was for them to find a way how to make the museum experience more engaging, how to show more in this kind of limited physical space, the rooms that they have. It's kind of small museums, a few floors. There isn't much room to use to display this kind of, really valuable artifacts, something that is really important to show, but but the curator has to do this kind of tough job to only choose a few of them to display, even though that there are thousands of these kind of interesting artifacts for you to discover, to you to learn about your history. And therefore, one key thing was that this could be the AR technology could be it, because with that we can actually expand the physical space, we can extend it, we can bring another digital layer to that. So another thing was that what is these kind of challenges that when it comes to like developing these kind of solutions and actually using these solutions. So that by that time we realized when we did market research, then there wasn't any kind of content management system, like for example WordPress for web, that's where you can just go in, log in, and quickly update your news or add galleries or something like this. But then we also realized that instead of clients going back to the agency saying that, hey, can you switch this 3D object, I don't know, which is bear, to wolf? And basically then what will happen is that someone will give it to the developer's table, the Unity developer opens the project, imports the new 3D model, rebuilds the app, uploads the stores, voila, bear is changed to wolf. But what they could be there are other ways to do it, and then we actually built this kind of cloud-based content management where you could easily upload your content and in real time update in any app. So this was the very first time. But by that time, when it comes to how to link between two worlds together, how to bring this kind of virtual content, which are like 3D models, animations, images, audio, how you bring them and tie to this real world physical space. So by that time, the option was markers, one of the options, so that you had this kind of picture made from the real world area that or some poster or whatever, and then you import it into the system and say that, hey, this is the thing that you should look from the real world. And in relation to this kind of poster, you are able to place these kind of different objects, virtual objects, so that whenever the application saw the poster and in real world environment, then it showed in relation to that poster those kind of models. So it was imagined the setup for the users, so that you had to go to behind the computer, start like uploading the images and the models, the marker and the models, and trying to match the relation to this marker, the object, the size and orientation, everything from computer, not being in the real environment, not being there. So you had to do it this kind of multiple iterations, going back and forth, but it was better than just going to developers and start changing with heavy price. But time went by and further, and then technology was evolving. More devices started supporting AR, and then basically a couple of years ago something amazing happened. So that first it was, I don't remember who was actually the first, but basically what changed that markers were placed with this kind of real world. So basically what it means that, for example, Microsoft Azure created this kind of spatial anchors functionality. So instead of now having to make a picture of this kind of image where you place this kind of different object, you can actually make the whole room becoming like a marker anchor. So the moment I step into this room, it recognizes it, and then everything is placed. So what it actually means that instead of now doing the things behind the computer, we can actually start doing the things right in here in this environment. We can actually choose this kind of different type of content and place it where we would like them to see in the right sizes, and then just anchor it right there. So everything happens where the AR experience is supposed to be experienced. And therefore Reality Maker born. This kind of solution that back in Dubai, we had this meeting with Roma and Veiko, and doing this kind of workshop and trying to understand that what we are actually trying to solve, asking this kind of five whys, why, and basically we end up this kind of that doing physically impossible. We can bring an elephant into this room. We can bring a shipping container here and see it doesn't fit here, or we can do this kind of otherwise would be impossible to do. So this is what it actually does. AR enables us to do physically impossible things, and what is what it actually means is that we can make physical location like this room more valuable by linking this virtual content in AR. So before I shoot the demo, I also want to share some kind of things that what I have learned on the way. So when you think of this technology and what you have heard so far and experienced so far, that who is it good for? And basically what we share is this kind of our understanding, our learnings, experience that where we see the value. One thing that thanks to our good network, we also are friends with Education Estonia. So there's a lot of these kind of visionaries and things that people that have done amazing things, amazing solution for education. And what we saw there together with them is that AR has great potential. And basically, in teaching and learning, you can bring next generations close to the real world by placing education, 3D content, physical learning environments. I don't know about you, but back in my days when I was learning math or geometrical shapes, then I had to visualize, imagine things from the textbook and that how this thing will actually relate to this kind of real world. The cubes and spheres and these kind of things that it was what do I want? And now what we can do is actually take those things, enable teachers and students to put those things in the air, top of each other, and basically understand that how these kind of different shapes react to this kind of real world environment. So they have much more better tools to learn this kind of geometry. Or anything else can be. Also, it's something that when it comes to accessibility, that people that otherwise are unable to, I don't know, go to the top of the mountain or travel to another country to learn about world history, then basically you can bring pyramids to the classrooms or outside there. You can do this kind of things that otherwise would be difficult to see. People that have never seen planes because there's no planes flying around there, you can bring planes there and talk about how aerodynamics works. So other thing is in this museum journey, because those museums came to us, and then basically thanks to them we felt this kind of okay. There might be interest from others as well. Would be interesting for us as well. But this is another story when it comes to selling and doing amazing project with museums. I can leave it for another time. But basically, what that means is that what are museums doing? They're teaching you about cultural heritage, something that so that you know where you're coming from, and what this kind of spatial anchors enables us to do is that before it was really this kind of limited to maybe indoors environments because of the lighting and all these kind of things that otherwise would be really difficult to make it work in this kind of big fields. But now with this spatial anchors functionality, which uses point cloud of the physical area together with GPS, you can actually break down the museum walls. You can actually start telling your this kind of stories about your cultural heritage right there on the spot where it makes most sense. So if you want to learn about what happens in Narva, then instead of like going to some museums and learn about the thing that happened in other city X, for example, from Tartu you learn what happens in Narva, you can actually be at Narva and see from the place, I know, is it on the street, this kind of part of cultural heritage that is interesting for you to know. You can actually go there and experience there, and then you can have this kind of build this kind of journey to the museum, that where you can learn this kind of additional layer of information. But basically this is what happens is that helping people come together, learn about their cultural heritage by showing this kind of historical 3D stories, content inside and outside museum walls. And other thing, when it comes to what would be benefit for AR is that we also know a bit to do on industry. Our CEO or founder is like really keen to make a difference in that sectors to help mobile workforce to have tools that makes their everyday life easier, less mistakes, more better performances, more useful thing for the employees. So working together with Waco and with industry leaders, then we also believe that AR is a great tool to help out with this kind of ongoing problem that finding a specialist is difficult. It's not easy to get something to maintain, your production line. So basically, if you find someone, then you spend a lot of time to actually get this person on the level that it's needed in order for he or her to work independently. So imagine if this would be the production line and you're the one that need to maintain it. Imagine that you could see this kind of, instead of going to this kind of 200-300 layers of PDF, finding what you should do here in order to remove the fault from the production line. Imagine if you could see this kind of AR stickers that opens you exact the information that is relevant to you to do this kind of job with some text, with images, videos. I will also show it later as well. So basically help out you in this kind of employee onboarding. And of course there's many more hypotheses and sectors that we are validating, but I started with those two because these are like the things that we have this kind of either promising clients or something we have done already. Other is like selling big and expensive products. So I don't know how many of you have been buying, sofas or big, something that is big, maybe, a sauna in your garden, so that you're struggling, okay, how the hell is going to fit here? How the hell I'm going to make a promise for get it delivered in I don't know, nowadays maybe 3-4 months, and then finally when it gets there, then it's like, oh my god, it doesn't fit here. So basically with this technology, you are able to bring all these kind of big physical things like this in your backyard and see that, okay, where, how, what kind of product it actually makes sense for me to order. And also it's not like end consumers, it's also like B2B. For example, if you go to expos and you want to show to the world potential clients that what kind of different products you have, instead of Milram to bring all the tanks to the other side of the world, they can use this technology to bring the things that otherwise they would never have a chance to bring it there. Maybe it's also that they have one tank there, and with this AR technology they can show the different variation. What they have is like a tank as a base, but then you can buy this kind of different cannons, defense system, all these kind of things that you can actually order on top of the tank. So with this technology you can actually bring that layer of information together with you wherever you are. So that instead of inviting everyone to Estonia to see how these things are made, what kind of products are, you can actually bring the products with fingertips like to your clients. And basically, when it comes to this reality maker, and why we talked about this reality maker is that what we also learned that this even though that many of you knew that, but there still were people that didn't know about this technology. So we kind of know it from maybe the most recent thing that everyone knows about it is Pokemon Go, chasing the dragons around the world. But it's much more than that. So therefore we understood that we need to build this kind of tools to help decision makers behind different business and different sectors to actually validate the hypothesis is the AR good fit for them to solve these type of problems. So what we have done is kind of made this reality maker free for everyone to try out with demo content. So we put there this kind of different type of virtual assets, like something from something that is big, something that is small, something that is 3D, something that is animated, something is like images, videos, audio, spatial audio. So to have this kind of different type of content that more or less can relate to, can be understood that this would be something that the shipping container could be this kind of third house, for example, when it comes to just testing out the idea. So that instead of me going and hunting down all the people and teach about AR, they can actually try out themselves and see that is this technology good fit for them, and then therefore come to us or other technology companies saying that this is what we need, we know what we need, therefore we can give much better input for building the products that desire the business needs. And when it comes to Reality Maker, so like I mentioned before, it's content management system for AR. So you can build experiences right on the spot. You can manage your content in any app, so you can actually use the Reality Maker SDK, place it inside of your own application, or contact Mobi Lab, and then we can actually build a tailor-made solution that we have done over 20 years anyway, so you can actually get the solution that your business needs. And of course, it's spatial anchors that gives much more power to how you share your experiences. Instead of you going around and showing like, hey, look at this is how it works, you can, or this is where the content is, you can actually make it in a way that people can come by their own time to see and experience the content you have you put out for them. Oh my god, I'm talking so much. But maybe the thing is that Martos said that we haven't spoken at all about AR or really little, and this is maybe the reason that I really want to share the key things, but maybe later in the future I can narrow it down to some more specific that it can be a journey that sharing how this AR is developing and what kind of client problems we're actually solving. But let's do a quick demo as well. So I try to share it. So basically, I will start it from the scratch. So this is the Reality Maker is content management system. So basically, when you come to Reality Maker, like this kind of customer client, then basically what you get your own account, you get your own username and password, you log in and you can manage your own content for your application, like WordPress. There's this kind of one backend system for all web management, and basically you can use it, the existing system, to modify your tailor-made web page, the content of the tailor-made web page. Basically, this is exactly what Reality Maker is. And what I have done here is that I have already created this kind of AR experience that, and also have anchored it in this room. So the moment that this device recognizes the space, then those things will appear. I will make it in demo mode so that you will see that what kind of things are available here to see.
And this dog. Oh wait.
It's a real dog. It looks like the performance sharing it live, but later you can grab your own device, download Reality Maker, and you can see those things here.
It was
but basically, what it means is those things are part of the room. One is sitting on the sofa. So
sitting on sofa.
yeah. So, but let's see that is there audio as well.
What is the device you're carrying?
iPad Pro, big one, yeah.
Big
Yeah.
iPad? Okay.
So basically, let's say that this is the experience. Now I'm in this edit mode, so I can quickly take those objects and I can place them around in this room in different places. So the key thing here when we were developing it for the last 2 years, it was that to make sure that everyone can do it. Everyone should be able to do great AR experiences. So making this kind of user experience, how you take this kind of different type of objects, how you place them in this virtual environment, really easy. So this is, if I move closer later, you can try it out as well. Then you have this kind of spatial audio, meaning that the moment that you move closer to this audio source, you will hear the sound. For example, over here is the sound of the bears, and if you walk towards the video, then you will start hearing this kind of sound of the waterfalls. and yeah, these are the things that are unfortunately it's really lagging.
Is it only the stream or what do you have?
I'm mirroring it, so.
Yeah, the screen was fine. I just checked
Yeah,
it
no,
before.
stream.
Screen was nice and
Okay.
smooth. Yeah.
Let's try it once more. That maybe maybe we can stop mirroring and then once more. Let's see that. Maybe the thing is also that I'm running on the battery and then therefore also it's limiting performance.
It's just not working.
So let's try it once more.
But you have content on the other side, so you can just show from the iPad.
Yeah.
Move the content on the other side.
Yeah, just the.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Wow.
Oh, it's better.
Yeah, I was thinking that looked like 10 years ago.
But there's no content.
Yeah.
Ah, here it is. Oh, no, it's like
Okay.
Ah.
So if I put the demo mode. Okay. Much better. So it was some jig in the network. So, but basically, see how smooth it is. Basically, what we have built is kind of tool. So the content is another story. So being another story in that sense that you are. That you are able to use your own content. For example, you already have some photos or images or videos or some audio files or 3D models. You can just upload those into the back office and use the reality maker to place them and tie with this kind of real world environment. So just for now, I quickly show once more this kind of demo that. So for example, I want to place it another wall. Then I can just quickly do it. I can change with 2 fingers, change size, position. So it's really simple. It also understands where these kind of horizontal planes are. If I want to change the size, not size, but let's say that I want to be more higher, and it's just use this kind of gestures that I also already know. For example, if I want to move it more up, then I use 2 fingers and move it wherever I need to do it. So let's take this waterfall here. Okay. So let's put it here. So videos, where the idea is not to look YouTube videos or news from one screen to another screen. This is not the idea, but think of it videos as effects, so that you can have this kind of. I know you want to show the waterfall. You want to show it this kind of. Okay, this is like the. I don't know. Players are in this kind of environment, so where you actually go and able to. Let's go here. So that maybe you want to have. Let's make a wall here. Oh. I make it.
Free of sound effects.
Yeah. So you can this kind of create this kind of 2 words coming together, so that this wolf is, I don't know, in this environment that is also part of the room. What I also mentioned is that it understands when something is behind. So let's try to see the bears also from here. So what you will see is that those things will be behind the
Oh,
screen.
nice.
So it really is like part of the room. Now, yes, of course, I'm doing a lot of things on this kind of handheld devices, but again, like I said, that it's not far away when those things are playing with my mouse glasses and walking around, and then we could see this is the same experience. So you can take those things, you place them, you can quickly remove them if you don't want them. This is the spatial audio what I talked about. So moving it around, and then you can actually create this kind of sound source from different spots. You move around, and basically you have this kind of immersive sound experience. So walk around, you hear something from here, you walk around, it goes quieter, or there's another sound source. You can actually create this kind of nice journey from one point to another, where you can see these kind of different things appear, disappear, sound coming, sound going. So let's see. So what else would be here? So let's take this waterfall away.
And if you have your own app on your phone and you open it right now, all the content that is there will be available as well.
Yes.
That's one of the good.
So are these polygon objects or are these photogrammetric or volumetric objects you are displaying there?
These are 3D models.
3D models.
Like FBX and GLP files.
It is not kind of done really from pictures and then.
So now you're asking that how those 3D models are created. So basically, there's different techniques that what you can use. Either use this kind of scanning, that you create this kind of point cloud, and then you use different 3D programs to make it one solid 3D model and optimize it, and then import it to our platform. You can use photogrammetry, making pictures from different angles, and then use a program to make it into a 3D model. So there's various ways how your models can be created. Or you can create from scratch, like any 3D designer, going 3D program, Blender, and just building the things that you need. Or you can just buy from stocks, from those things. But like I said, it's about making physically possible things. So have you ever seen indoor snow?
I have a question. What about scale? Are all the objects always on scale, or how the scale is computed, or how does it work? Scale? I mean, how does it know if?
So
for example,
if
I have a 3D model, FBX, that's exactly 100 millimeters. How does it know that if another object which is made maybe in 3ds Max or AutoCAD, the scale from the real
it can be if you export the model, then you can actually give this kind of type of parameters with it, so that what is in relation in the real world. But basically,
it's always the same.
Yeah. So, but this technology is quite smart when it comes that if I put 1 meter thing over there and walk away, then it actually will react as any other object in that far away from the room. So it's kind of locked into space. What it does, it starts tracking you in this kind of virtual world, so that it really understands that how my device is positioned in this virtual environment which is top of this world. So basically, it's able to track me moving around in one part of the room to another, and therefore understanding that this 3D object was 1 meter height is there. If I move away, then looking from here, then it doesn't grow, it doesn't go shorter. It's recognized as any other object in the room.
But I think the question is more like, if you create an object 1 meter, how does it know in AR that this represents 1 meter?
Exactly. Like this height of the ceiling is like, I don't know, 2 meters. Let's say it's more. But how does it know if I import from 3ds Max 2 meter height box? How does it know that it's exactly? I mean, for different devices. For example, this is iPad, but for example, for anything.
It's a cross-platform thing that is working here. It's a Unity-based application.
Mm-hmm.
So if you export your models in the right way, meaning that it is GLP or FBX in this platform, that you're able to give this kind of parameters that what 1 meter is in this real world.
Okay.
So you can actually give all this information, and rest of it is done in this kind of AR specific components, like this AR foundation, AR kit, AR core that every platform has. But how it translates is basically job for this kind of Unity engine that says that okay, this is the object parameters, and at the moment it's locked in with 1 meter.
Yeah.
If you set it 2 meters, then it
Let's probably leave some discussion for later as well.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that should
So
start
yeah,
wrapping it up.
It's magic.
I will.
Magic.
But if you when it comes to like what exactly you need to do when it comes to like this model, if you really want to learn more, then what I can do is then I can put you in contact with our developer that is also helping us to model and optimize and export those models in a way that the size is accurate. I think these should now quite accurate when it comes to exporting them and importing into platform and placing them here. So it's quite well.
Cool.
All right. Later you can download the app. It's over here. So once you download it, then you are able to walk around in this place, see those bears. You can put the bears or some other objects in other places and just try out that and get a better understanding and feeling what the AR is actually able to do. Maybe just really quickly I want to show. You saw the app. So basically, what we have done is that whatever when it comes to setting up or designing the AR experience, then everything is done in the mobile interface, meaning that this is the most logical way that if I want to this experience to be part of this room, then I will want to do it right here on the spot. And the only things that you are unable to do with the mobile part of it, then these are the things that you go and do in the back office. So what we have created is kind of a simple interface that where you can go and upload different kind of virtual object assets, whether they're images or pictures or 3D animation, special effects. You can all come here, upload those things here, and then this automatically will appear in this kind of mobile interface where you can quickly search your assets that you would like to see. One other thing is that what I wanted to actually quickly show as well is that not everything is for example, this employee onboarding. So let's see, is it working smoothly? Quickly. So as you see over here is the label, and we're according to this kind of label system that there can be cases that where you don't need to show 3D objects or images, but you would like to show the starting point of relevant information that is not meant to be maybe in AR. And what we have done is that let's say that this mannequin is really something, some additional information that you would like to share, or maybe it's part of production line, how to say, change oil. So when you go around and with this application, then you are able to see those labels linked with the real world, and basically it's shortcuts. So once you click on it, it opens this kind of full layer of information that can be read nicely from the device screen. You can see relevant images of it, or even start looking at the video that is meant to be learned about that specific spot in this.
Sounds very useful.
Yeah. And again, these labels can be easily created from the back office, and using a Reality Maker mobile app, you can just go around and place them wherever you see fit, anchor them there, and then next time when your employee comes and want to learn that how to change, how to clean the coffee machine, then basically you can quickly place exactly those labels in the right spot of the machine and actually show it, I don't know, in a video that, okay, take this one out, you see another label, put this one here, and whatever, so you can actually go and do this kind of.
Is the resolution limited by the device that you're using then?
You mean like object texture?
Yeah, when you mentioned that you could put like some labels onto the coffee machine into a specific location. So if you go really close with your mobile phone, then your camera needs to be good enough in order to preserve the accuracy.
So this is those anchors that you're creating. This is the important part that because these are like the fundament of improving in constant. So that how this technology works, that you try to teach the system that about this environment, and the more you teach about the system, the more accurate it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
So what it actually happens that the experience is I will put this one that others can download it if you want to try out. So basically what you can do is that, for example here as well, I placed those different kind of object labels and bears and all those kind of things. And basically what every time after I anchored it, every time I search this position with the same device, it uses the artificial technology, artificial AI, so to get better of understanding the anchor. And what I did is that one moment that the anchor became really accurate, but the things were out of place. What I just did is corrected it, and it automatically saves. And then next time when where I found it, then it would be like 100% accurate. So when it comes to coffee machine, it's basically the same process that when you first time you place them, you anchor them. You try to create this kind of good anchor by showing room space around that coffee machine. You discover it, you make this kind of corrections that okay, this label needs to be 5 centimeters on the right. You do it, and one time, and after I know, sometimes it may be 2, 3, maybe 5, maybe some complex room it's 10 times, and then it's voila, then it's smart enough to keep them in a right position.
So it's just about visual information. You don't use the accelerometer or
it uses many things, but when it comes to locating anchors, this is camera feed. But when it comes to like understanding a device position in this virtual world, then it uses various sensors like camera and depth and accelerometers and all these kind of things to understand how your device is moving around this kind of virtual part of this room. And then this virtual link between, like I said, like I saw the stories, is like there used to be markers that is linked, how this device is positioned in relation to this image or marker. But now it's how this device is positioned in relation to this kind of spatial anchors, which is much more accurate, which is like point cloud of some area. And then it has much more information how to track it, and even done it in a further distance. So even with marker, you walk away from marker, and then you lose tracking, and then it's done with this kind of anchors.